Hello, Briana. Tell me about yourself.
Hello, I'm Briana Wallington. I'm an 18-year-old freshman at the Fall School of Business at Temple University, and I'm a legal studies major. I want to thank you for this opportunity, and I also want you to know that I have a lot of work experience, and those experiences have taught me a lot about myself as an employee. I worked as an intern at the Higher Achievement Program for 4 years and as an intern with the Washington Nationals in the summer of 2011 as I worked the baseball games at the Washington National Stadium and mentored the children at the Higher Achievement Program. I learned that I am dedicated to what I love to do. Working and mentoring taught me that I am passionate about working, because as long as I'm passionate about what I'm doing, the other people around me will be passionate as well. My passion brings out the best in me, which motivates me to give my all to everything and anything that I do. I give 110% because not only do I want to make those around me proud, I also want to make myself proud. Working and organizing activities for the baseball fans for the Washington Nationals taught me how to work well with others, because I had to work with a group of other interns. I am open to different and new ideas from the many different people that are around me. I love to help others when they need help. I also love to learn new skills. So when I don't know how to do something, I always ask questions because I want to learn how to do it.
Sounds great. Tell me about a significant accomplishment in your life.
So a significant accomplishment in my life would be when my supervisor promoted me to intern coordinator. So like I said, I've been working with the Higher Achievement Program for 4 years. In my 4th year, which was the summer of 2012, my supervisor decided it was time for me to take up a leadership position, so he gave me the position as intern coordinator. And as intern coordinator, I managed and developed a team of interns throughout the Washington, D.C. area. And my supervisor gave me the challenge of creating a new training program for these interns. He wanted me to create a program that was specifically for the interns, because in the past, the interns did not develop professional skills and the skills that they needed to work with the children, as well as the Higher Achievement Program wanted them to. So what I did was part 1 of my program, I wanted the interns to work with their center staff, so I incorporated part of their training session with the training session of the whole program, of the whole company, because they needed to work with their center staff. They needed to bond with the people that they were going to work with the most, because the center staff is a group of people that were going to help them develop their professional relationship, their professional development skills, and those are the people that they were going to be working directly with. So I created different scenarios. Of situations that a typical intern would go through, and they had to find a solution to those scenarios with their center staff. Part 2 of my training program was that I wanted the interns to develop a relationship with each other, because they needed to bond with each other, because they needed to get advice on how to mentor and encourage the children effectively. And I felt that as a group, they could figure out that together. And in order to do that, they needed to create a bond, and they needed to understand each other. And in understanding each other and how each other worked, they could create new ways to approach the children or be a positive role model to the kids that they were working with. Part 3 of my training program was my part, in which every week I would do an observation of every intern, and I would meet with them one-on-one and tell them what they needed to work on, what they needed to improve on, what they were doing well. And the next week I would return and tell them what they have improved on and what they still needed to improve on. In part 4, my supervisor gave me the task of creating a newsletter, and in that newsletter I had to include what the interns needed to work on as a whole, because together they could bond with each other and figure out, okay, this is what we need to work on. Together we can do that. And then I give them incentives and give them shout outs on what they have been doing well, and I would give them reminders on what to remember for the next week. And at the end of the summer, all 6 centers throughout the DC area said that they were satisfied and they were happy with the work that their interns had done that summer. And the interns reported that they developed professional skills that they could take with them on college interviews or on their future work endeavors. So my training program was a success.
Okay, that sounds really good. Tell me what you learned in your business leadership class.
So in my business leadership class, I learned about culture in a corporation and transformational leaders. And in a culture is basically what a company stands for, their goals and what they want to accomplish and what they want to leave behind. And a transformational leader is someone who inspires and works with the people around them, and they challenge and bring out the best in those people they work with. And I read a Wall Street Journal about the passing of Steve Jobs and how Steve Jobs was an inspirational leader. He inspired the people he worked with because he didn't settle for less, so he challenged his employees to think outside of the box, to prove to him that they could be the best that they can be and produce the products that lived up to the standards and values of Apple. I also read an article in the Wall Street Journal about Apple wanting to create a map for malls or inside where people can look at the map and find their favorite store in the mall. And I learned in my corporate analysis, which I had to analyze a corporation based on where they stood now and where they would stand in the future. And I picked Apple, and I learned that Apple has an innovative culture. And they're caught in the innovative culture. They want to stand out and think outside the box and develop products that no one has ever thought of. And I learned that in their innovative culture, and in that Wall Street Journal article, it showed how innovative Apple was and how they're working hard to think outside the box and stand out from their competition and build up their clientele and build up their corporation and show everyone that they still have values, their innovative values and innovative culture.
Great job.